Welcome to my channel and welcome to the next part of my RS5 conversion on my Audi S5. So in a previous video I installed the rear bumper and we got all that sorted. I'm just waiting for a couple of side brackets there because it don't fit 100% at the moment, but I'm just waiting for those to come through. We then retrofitted these facelift lights to the car and we then get the exhaust pipe fixed and a rear silencer delete. So what's left to do now is obviously the front bumper and the whole front grille. So as usual, let's get that car out the garage and get that car in. That's it, she's in the garage. Let's begin. But before we start work on the car, I just want to let you know that Fun to Drive merch is now available. I have t-shirts and hoodies available in various colours and also a Fun to Drive mug available in red or black, so you can have a brew whilst working on your cars. And the great thing about all of this is that 10% of all profits from the sale of these items is donated to charity. So go to the website, have a look around, and even if you just buy a mug, 10% of that money is going to charity, helping a good cause. Check out the link below to see where you can get your merch from. Back to the car. So yeah, all of this front end will be coming off and will be replaced. Now, I'm still not 100% sure whether we need a new bonnet yet. I have bought one and I've got a new bonnet, but I'm just going to see what happens when we put the new bumper on, see what the differences are. So obviously there's a lot of work in changing the bonnet of it. So it's quite a lot of parts I'm going to have to take off this original bumper when I remove it. I've got the parking sensors in mind, so they all need to come off. One good thing is we're going to lose the fog lights. Never like those, never used fog lights anyway. So we're going to lose those in the RS5 kit, because the RS5 front bumper I've got doesn't have fog lights in it. But we have got fog light delete units which are supplied in the kit. Not too sure what I'm going to do with the circles here. The new kit doesn't have them due to copyright reasons, so I'm going to have to find something where I can mount the 4 circles on the front of my new grille. That can come later, I'm not too worried about that at this point. Not sure whether this S5 comes off as well, but we'll see all that when we get this off. So let's begin and let's get this front bumper off. So we need to remove the headlight, which has one bolt holding it there, one holding it there, and there's one just down there as well. And the same for the other side. So whoever's tried to remove this plug before has actually broken off the tab that should be here that you can lift up to remove it. So what happens is, hopefully you can see this, in here there's a little part that needs lifting up to release it. Luckily that part's got a hole in the back of it, so I've used this pick to go into there and just lift it up that way. And that was the way I got the plug off. It's also full of oil and gunge. I don't know what's been happening around here, but we'll give that a clean up before we put it back on the new lights. So just a little tip, what I tend to do when I'm working on cars. So these are the bolts I took out of the headlight, so I'm going to put them back in to respective holes where they came from. And that serves two purposes. One, it stops me from losing them, and two, I know exactly where they actually came from. So to take the bumper off, what we need to do is we need to remove that torx there, that torx there, then down inside here we're going to need to peel back this wheel arch liner, and inside there is going to be two 10mm bolts that need removing, and then as usual a whole load of torx holding it underneath as well. So this bit here is that's that new piece that I've got, so this bit has to come off as well. So let's start by removing the torx from the top and the bottom, and I'll show you in detail what you need to do to get those under the wheel arch liner. Now you don't have to do this, but to make life easier for myself, I'm going to jack this car up and put it on front axle stands, so I'll just make it easier access for the bolts under there and also the ones inside the wheel arch. So here we are under the wheel latch, and we need to remove these two Torx screws there. Now enables us to peel that back, and inside here, which I'll show you with the camera, so you can see inside there is two 10mm nuts that need to be removed. Just above the front grille we've got a connector here. I'm assuming that is going to be for the parking sensors, because I've got parking sensors fitted on my car, so I'm assuming that's what that's for. So I need to unclip this. So to remove the bumper at this point here, it's a bit like the rear bumper. You just need to tug on this and then it will come out of the bracket that's holding it behind, and that one's loose. Do the other side. And at this point now, I think the whole bumper should be loose and ready to come off. The only thing we've got left is those fog lights will have some wiring behind them, so I need to remove that when I remove part of the bumper. So I might get something just to stand it on so it doesn't collapse and hit the floor like a sack of spuds. Here it is, the bumper completely removed. Interesting though, look at this. So when I went to connect the fog lights, I thought, oh, they're interesting, but looks like somebody done an amazing LED upgrade on them. I bet they're quite expensive then. So I might be able to get some money back for my new bumper. So this was that socket that I need to undo. If I follow it down, look, yeah, it's going to all of these sensors. So yeah, that was definitely for the parking sensors. So the next point is to remove this under tray, because this will get replaced by the new one I got supplied in the kit, and this won't work with the new bumper. Look at all these leaves stuck in here. I think we'll be getting those out. So this is first trial fit of the bumper, and it's not going very well. So if you remember in my previous video, I showed you got the light support brackets here. So I've got those, and they're going to replace those brackets there. So that's going to replace that bracket that is there. Now the problem is that bracket connects to this bracket here, and this bracket has got the pins down the side which are going to hold the bumper in place there. So you have to have this bracket, but if you look here, because of the way the facelift drops down, these are in the way. So I think these brackets here, I'm going to have to replace them. So I'm going to go away and have a look and see if I can get a replacement for these brackets, and then that will make it all fit nicely together. So let's now remove these plastic light brackets off both sides, because these are certainly not going to work with the new facelift bumper. So I've removed the headlight carrier. You can see on the back we've got the headlight washers which are fitted to mine, so I disconnected that pipe first, that was up there, and we've got this here which I just looked what that is. That's a crash sensor, so that'll be the one that activates airbags and such, so that's quite something that's important. So I want to make sure that we put that back onto the new bracket when we get it. As you can see here now, so these bolts here are what are holding on this headlight carrier onto this headlight bracket. So I've got my new carrier anyway, I just need this new bracket which I'm going to have to order, and then I can swap and install my headlight carrier onto my new bracket. Let's go do the other side. Light brackets off, I thought I'd just do a mock-up of what it's going to look like, and look at this. This is going to look awesome. Headlights, nice, just laid in to be honest, because I ain't got the brackets. Got all in there, but if you look at this, definitely going to need a new bonnet. Look, see where that's going to be there, and it's not going to fit. So that's why you definitely need a new bonnet when you're doing a facelift upgrade.
3 days later.
I've just had the word from Audi that the parts for the light brackets are in, so let's go to Audi and pick those up. And there we have it, 2 new light brackets. Back to the house, get these fitted. So next step now is to assemble these new brackets using parts from the original brackets, such as the crash sensor and the bolts that are holding the carrier for the light on. So during assembling this one, what I have found is that the original part here had this, which was like a pipe that connected to the back of the actual light and allowed the water to come out. Now, we've got no mounting point on this bracket for that. But if I just take the light and I mount the light onto the new bracket, something like that, then the light itself does have one of those water outlets there. So looking on the car itself with the previous bracket, this part here connected into that pipe there. So it was like a mating process. So when you slid the light into there, the actual part went into there to make it drip the water out. Now what I'm going to do is I can use this to plug directly into my light, because that will just go straight into the back of my light. So let's build the other headlight bracket and then we can install them both onto the car. Okay, so let's fit this new carrier. Right, there's a few things in the way. Number one is this, which comes out of here, which I think that was something to do with holding the bumper on. So I've removed that for now, but I might need to remove this bracket. Let me just try again. This is a pipe for the light, so that's going to go on there, and there is a little clip under here which will take a pipe, so I'm assuming that this pipe goes up through there and in that clip. Just pop it back out. So that's the clip there. I think this pipe looks like it's just the size of this pipe, look. So I think that's going to go there and up through there to the back of the light. Now this shroud here for the radiator just seems to be slightly in the way, but it is pretty flexible, so I think we'll be able to push it out of the way to get mine in. Okay, let's refit the pipe for the headlight washers. So the headlight washer just looks like it pushed in there, but it's pretty loose. If you look on the original one, you've got this clip here that just clips over the plastic, so I'm hoping I'll get that off and I should be able to push that on there. And reconnect the crash sensor. Bracket now fitted, let's test the headlight. So I do not believe that this headlight is going to go in there, because I've tried, I don't want to put too much pressure on, but I've tried giving it in there like that, and you can't get over the lip on the bottom bracket. So rather than damage anything, for the sake of 2 bolts, I'm going to loosen this bracket, then this bracket will just pop out a bit, then I put the headlight in and then push the bracket back in and tighten the 2 bolts here. So let's do that. And there it is installed. Yeah, bit of a pain. I'm pretty sure you're not going to get the headlight in without first inserting it into its carrier and then installing the carrier, which would mean taking the bumper off, because the carrier is held on by these, to actually get the headlight off. That seems a bit of a pain, to be honest, but hey, anyway, it's in now. I shouldn't be taking them off again, so I'll be pretty happy with that. But everything seems to have gone, so water's hooked up, crash detectors hooked up, pipes clipped, just haven't plugged them in yet. I'm not too worried about that. There's plenty of adjustment, because these holes where the bolt are actually square holes, so it will come forward, go back a bit, but obviously I'll need to line it up when I get the bumper on. So let's get the other side done, and that's the headlights done. So on this side, this radiator shroud is quite tight, and it's hard. That's soft plastic, but it's hard plastic there. So I'm going to have to cut a piece of that out to allow this to go in. So I'm going to have to cut it out from there to there. Let me just cut that out. Done. And that's why I do these videos for you guys, because every video I've seen on YouTube about installing these lights, they just pop them in and they fit. No, there's a bit more work to be done, which I've just shown you in this video. So let's plug this one up, and we've totally finished with the headlights. And that's those fitted. So one more job to do, and that's to paint the crash bar black, because you can obviously see that through the actual grille. We'll let that dry, and then we'll give it another coat. Second coat. And that's the crash bar all painted, looking absolutely brilliant. You shouldn't be able to see that through the grille now when I put the bumper on. But unfortunately guys, I'm going to have to bring this video to an end. It's been quite long, and you're going to have to stay tuned for the next part when I'll be actually fitting the front bumper. So if you enjoyed this stuff, get subscribed to my channel. If you like this particular video, then please give me that thumbs up. So until the next time, stay safe.